Hey, I'm Andy, and welcome to Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid. All right, Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid podcast, episode 7, I believe, here with my dear friend Cliff Dublin, lead singer of the punk rock band Anti-Chemical Straitjackets based out of Lynn, Massachusetts. Cliff, basically, my friend, I would consider you living, breathing punk revival here.
Thank you. My brother's talking to God watching over us.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I had a question for you to start off with.
Oh, are we on the air yet?
Yeah, we just started, bro. We're good.
Did you get it fixed, Alan?
Oh my God, you're getting this, I hope, because this is the good stuff. So
thank you. God bless you guys.
What was your first favorite song as like a kid? Do you remember?
Oh, I Pump It Up by Elvis Costello, and then the B-52s, and then when I heard the Dead Kennedys, then I knew I was hooked.
Yeah.
But I first was into rockabilly and surf music, and the guy from the Stray Cats was saying too, a lot of punk rockers were influenced by the 50s and 60s music. Mm-hmm. And that's what I loved about punk music, because it was a throwback to the 50s and 60s and everything. And I was mostly into Chuck Berry and Little Richard and Elvis. Fats Domino actually let me in his hotel room. I actually met Fats Domino. My mother...
Could you tell that story? Like, just kind of elaborate on that, because that sounds like a heck of a story.
Yeah, I know it. And he's not living no more, but I'm sure he's talking to my brother. So anyways, my mother's friend was at the old Harbor Place. The Harbor Lounge was in 1970-something. 78, 79, 77. Right around the late 70s, they were reviving all the 50s rock and roll.
Sure.
I was a teenager growing up in the mid 70s. So, and Elvis, I think, had just passed on around that time. Sha Na Na, John Bowser Bowman. So a lot of the 50s thing was really big then, and I didn't care for disco.
Did anybody?
And for the same reasons I didn't go for hip-hop or pop music, but I always respect everybody's interest. I just want them to respect punk, and I just want them to respect drag racing. My two loves. Yeah. I mean, that human beings have got to respect each other.
Right.
If we're going to survive, we have to, in the Constitution it says all men are created equal. And the First Amendment says freedom of speech. Mm. So I'm hoping that, that alone, that they should be able to respect everybody and treat everybody equal. And we'd have a much better world. And then get rid of the things that are killing God's people. Mm. Well, that's why my theme song, you want to check it out. My theme song is we're all God's people, treat them all equal, put an end to the things that are killing God's people.
Right.
I mean, if I get a hit song, or one of the songs is going to... I would think, because you don't have to follow drag racing or punk music. You just have to be a human being to appreciate the song, we're all God's people. And I'm hoping that, if I get one hit, that would be it.
Yeah.
And of course, and then our new song is I Can't Complain If I Get to Be As Big As Kurt Cobain. I'm sure Kurt Cobain's talking to my brother since they both passed on.
I got a question for you as regards to those lyrics, because those lyrics are just really good on the rhyme scheme. Can't complain.
I know it, and they're catchy. It's almost like God is the one that's telling me. A punk rock God is telling me, and God got me into punk.
The question being is, like, do those just kind of really quickly come to you, or do you got to write it down real quick, or just...
Well, I had to write it down quick when I thought of it, but if you try to make it happen... You just have to be in the mood.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just flows into your mind.
Yeah, you can't force it. Certainly can't force it.
Yeah, and that's when I wrote, and I got, when are you going to learn? You're going to die from radiation burns. And of course, the only way to save humanity to put it into nuclear insanity. Yeah, the nuclear issue is a big thing. It says they're worried about global warming and all that business. But the thing that's every bit as bad, if not worse, is the nuclear issue. And I believe in that. I says you got alternatives to all that. You got solar energy, you got wind farms, you got a gas from the moon, the drunk drivers, or the politician that plays God and executes innocent people. So, you know, making the world a safer, better place to be. And I've had a disability all my life, but had a talent with my music.
And that was, and that was the OCD and the Asperger.
That's why I wrote the song. Yeah, I got OCD. Don't you pick on me.
Which is
and I
that's
got
my
the video,
favorite.
and my therapist helped me get the video made for it.
I gotta say,
you guys will see it on there.
I gotta say that's my favorite song of yours because even if you don't necessarily,
and I'm hoping that Howie Mondell sees it particularly. I would love to.
Howie, you watching this?
I hope
listen to that tune, brother.
You know, it'd be something if we can get in touch with Howie Mondell because he's the most famous guy that knows what it's like to have obsessive compulsive disorder.
Apart from Howard Hughes, but never mind.
And then Howard Hughes and Walt Disney. Or the guy from Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst, I heard that OCD.
You know, I can see that. He's very into detail.
That's what I was told and I heard.
I could see that totally.
Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit, which is very interesting, and he loves rock and roll. If we can just see that everybody treats one another equal,
Right.
and get rid of all the things that are killing God's people, we would be able to save mankind. Because if they don't do that, human beings will go extinct, like the dinosaurs. So the only way they're going to exist is if human beings are going to exist is if we all respect and help each other and get rid of the things that are doing harm.
Right.
So my theme song is we're all God's people, treat them all equal, put an end to the things that are killing God's people.
I'll have to...
And then, of course, and I'm hoping that drag racing would be equal with football and punk would be equal with hip-hop and pop music. As you know how I feel.
Question about...
And I'd love to get a reality show called Hot Rod Punk. So, you know, we'd have the first half hour about drag racing and the second half hour about punk rock and the connection between drag racing and punk.
What was...
and we met Jesse James and Alexis DeJoria, and they love drag racing and punk too.
Very cool. What was it like?
Alexis won the U.S. Nationals against John Force about 4 or 5 years ago.
Where did the... Sorry, this is just another... moving on for another question. Where did the name Anti-Chemical Straitjackets come from?
I'm glad you asked that, because I was just talking with my other friend, Billy, you know, the nursing homes, and he was talking about nursing homes and institutions and a lot of these things, and I heard it on the news about the abuse of disabled people in nursing homes, institutions where they drug them up, and they drug them up so it's a chemical, and that's where they got the name Chemical Straitjacket, and anti means to stop and be against, and it's also a catchy name.
It certainly is.
So it stuck. I mean, there were other names I was thinking of, but that's the one that stuck. And then my father used to work with a guy named Charlie Manella, and my friend Garth, whoever he is, I hope he's okay. God bless him, he was a good friend of mine. I just don't know where he is now, but let's hope and pray for him.
Certainly.
He said, Cliff, what about salmonella? And I said, yeah, and it stuck. And I'm interested in Italy and all that. So, you know, so it identified with Italian culture like Salvatore Manella, and then it identified with the punk scene. You know, salmonella sounds like a disease. So that's
it is.
so that was the perfect stage name. Just like Eric Brunson took Jello Biafra. So I took the name Salmonella as my stage name.
Was he just a fan of Jello? Like, I don't know why.
I don't know how he got it. I'd have to ask him if I ever meet Jello Biafra.
Tell us
I
why.
hope he hears our music, and it'll be wonderful if I get to meet him in it.
You know,
I got to meet Skip Greer a few times, but I have yet to meet Jello Biafra yet.
Yeah.
And you met Henry Rollins. I says, I'm blowing my mind about. I can't. I mean, when I saw a picture speaks 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I was going to say is that I says, D.H. Peligro, one of our great heroes, the dead Kennedy's drummer, you know, they pumped him up with chemo and radiation. The poor guy just died.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's talking to my brother.
Right.
So I would hope that we can get better treatment for cancer and then get rid of the cigarette, the nuclear plant, the processed meats, and the food that's high in fat and high in sodium that causes cancer. And even Steve Torrance, one of my heroes from drag racing, you know, he and I were talking. So, and he was lucky enough to survive, but for every Steve Torrance, there's too many D.H. Peligros. So, you know, they've got to get better treatment for cancer, and they got to get rid of the things that are causing it.
Right.
I says that the dirty word is nuclear. The dirty word is cigarette. Because, you know, because it doesn't matter whether you're black, blue, or purple, you know, the nuclear issue is going to kill everybody if we don't stop it.
Interesting.
You know, how many Chernobyls, how many Fujiyama nuclear disasters do you need?
Right. You know how we're going to do that?
You know what I mean? That everybody should be treated fair and equal.
One power chord at a time.
Yeah, you got it. 3 chords in punk music, but yeah. That
Another question, if I may. I don't want to cut you off.
treat everybody as an equal.
Right.
Because it's the only way human beings are going to get along and survive. And I had raised a lot of money for various charities. So now that my brother died, I raised money for the homeless. I worked at a homeless shelter, Brother's Table in Lynn, Massachusetts. And I raised money for the Wounded Warriors and various other charities.
Very good.
So, you know, now that my brother died, I'm really hoping and pray they support my charity because I'm trying to get financial security. See, my brother was supporting me, and then he died 2 years ago. So it's been a nightmare ever since. But if they like drag racing and they like punk music, all the more reason they're going to benefit because they share my interest. So I'm hoping and praying if they love the music, they benefit even more. I mean, they're going for all these guys that love Corey Taylor and love the Metallica and you know, going for Green Day. How can they not love my band? I'm hoping and thinking. I even said in one of my websites, if you like Green Day, you'll love my band.
That is true. There's a lot of similarities. I will say, I played your version. We've played together. We played on stage together before a couple times at open.
I got a cover song from Jan and Dean called Drag City.
I've heard it. Yeah, it's good.
And then also, I'm working on the new song. It's going to come out after Thanksgiving.
So around
if all goes well. So I hope you guys check it out.
Around the time this is going to air, it's going to come out probably.
Yeah. So that'll be after Thanksgiving, and hopefully you guys will check it out. It's called All I Want for Christmas is a 71 Hemi Cuda in candy blue.
Right on.
Because we took the Mariah Carey song, All I Want for Christmas is You, and then it cleverly changed it to All I Want for Christmas is a 71 Hemi Cuda in candy blue. And then we took a lot of the Dead Kennedys and Slayer, and then we took
those influences.
And then we took 2 songs from Dillinger's Escape Plan, and we mixed the melodies together to create my own. So it's going to be a 6 song. I'm in the process of still recording my singing. I hope everybody checks it out. And of course, the song I Can't Complain If I Get to Be As Big as Kurt Cobain.
That's the latest one.
You know, that's the one that's out. And then my song Superbird, and my good friend here,
yours truly.
His truly, Andy Conley did all the guitar licks.
I did.
Taking it to the drag strip, I got a 426 Chevy Superbird. What everybody's heard about a 426 Chevy Superbird. The bird is the bird. And
that was fun to do, honestly.
And I took Surfer Bird and I changed it to Superbird because Surfer Bird was a song by the Trashmen.
Sure.
You know, again, like I said, I was influenced by a lot of the 50s and 60s rock and roll and punk related to that.
Sure.
So, you know, you can see how I got into it.
And it all.
And then, of course, I had loved drag racing and hot rods all my life. And the connection between hot rods and rock and roll, They both represent speed and power. They both represent beauty. You know, when I hear the sound of those cars, I'm hearing the sound of, when I hear the sound of John Force's funny car, I'm hearing the Dead Kennedys. You know, the same feeling I get when I watch drag racing is what I get when I listen to punk.
It's that energetic.
And they represent speed and power, and everybody needs something to keep them living.
Well,
And everybody needs a passion, and drag racing and punk rock have kept me alive.
I love it.
And if they're gonna take another drag strip, they won't like it if we end up taking a football stadium or a basketball stadium. Because if they can take down a drag strip, why can't we take down a football stadium and build a drag strip there? I mean, if they took the Denver, Colorado race, it seems to me they might as well take the Denver Nuggets and take that down and put that as the new drag strip for the Mile High Nationals. And you know, you're paying Tom Brady $58 billion. No excuse you can't get Don the Snake put on a full-time sponsor. You pay Taylor Swift $500 billion. No excuse you can't pay Jello Biafra and Skip Bria $500 billion.
Right. Question from
drag racing and punk rock should be equal. Everybody should be treated equal. And I just want to enjoy the things that I love. And now that my brother passed on, I'm just hoping that everybody will support my charity, because I had raised money for homeless and disabled veterans, you know, before my brother died. That's what we were doing. But now that my brother died, you know how it is. But if I make it with my music, I not only get financial security, but I do what I love, which is drag racing and punk rock music. So I really want to thank everybody out there that might support it. And if they love the music and they love drag racing, they benefit even more. I also have a song, I took the baseball song, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I changed it to Take Me Out to the Drag Strip.
That was clever.
So all you hot rod guys out there, I've been a hot rod punk all my life. And if they share my love for drag racing and punk music, all the more reason I hope some people support and check out my band. You know, you see it on YouTube, you buy it on iTunes and Amazon.
And it's called Anti-Chemical Straitjackets.
Yeah, and also the t-shirt spot, Wyoming Square, Lynn, Massachusetts. The guy's name is Nelson, like Nelson Mandela. Usher helped out Justin Bieber, so maybe Henry Rollins will help us. I'm hoping, especially where he shares our love for punk and everything, and that would be wonderful. I can't believe you met Henry Rollins. A picture speaks 1,000 words.
Can I ask you another question? When you went and recorded those songs for the first time, I think your first batch of songs, what was it like being the first time being in a recording studio? Was it kind of overwhelming, or was it did it feel kind of natural to you, or kind of overwhelming? That's like, man, there's all this stuff. Or were you
of course. Especially where I have obsessive compulsive disorder and Asperger's. You know, I mean, the first 50 years of my life, I never really had a chance to live. Now I'm trying to make up a lost time, and I'm praying that God will give me a second chance. You know, I want to take 50 years and put it into 20 years. If I can live another 20 years, I'm 64. So, you know, I just want to, you know, I mean, when you have obsessive compulsive disorder and Asperger's, it's like I was in prison for 50 years or paralyzed for 50 years because that's what OCD and Asperger's does to you. You know, and I've just gotten a little better, you know, in the last few years. I worked with martial arts and karate and things, so that was one of the biggest things. I mean,
that helps
hopefully they can get a health care, Medicare, or health insurance should really make karate and martial arts. It does so much for disabled people. That's one of the biggest things that needs to happen for anybody with a disability. It's not just self-defense. But martial arts and karate is one of the best things. I would really hope to see Medicare or whatever doing that for people.
I think that was me, yeah. So it really helps center you then, that the martial arts then.
I'm not that good at it, but guess what? It helped me greatly with my OCD. Okay. I've come a long way, but I had a talent with my music, and a love for drag racing, and a little bit of knowledge on drag racing.
Sure.
And I had a talent with the music, and a love for punk music and drag racing. And those things have kept me alive. Everybody needs a passion to keep us going.
Yeah.
And drag racing and punk rock have kept me alive.
Wow.
Other than that, I would have died long ago. But I mean, I'd be up all night, sleep all day. I wasn't able to eat and sleep. So I had OCD real bad, but thank God I'm a lot better now, thank God. And thank God I got a talent with the music. So I'm hoping that things will work out with my band, and you and I will get our music successful.
Well, there's another thing we've been doing. We've been going to Gulu Gulu Cafe in Salem.
Oh, yes. And we're going to be at the Gulu Gulu Cafe after Halloween. Sometime after Halloween, we're going to be performing there.
Yeah.
So you'll check out Andy Conley and me, Cliff Dublin, and see us perform at the Gulu Gulu Cafe sometime after Halloween. So hopefully if they hear us, they'll know to check us out and everything.
Yeah. So,
and people help each other, you benefit. And if you love drag racing, you love punk music, all the more reason you benefit. And of course, my second love is, I'm a huge fan of The Simpsons, by the way. That's another thing. I hear that Matt Groening is a big fan of punk music.
Your little Simpsons punk rock character that's on the cover of your
Bart
record.
Simpson is one of my, he's my silent partner, or faithful sidekick.
Nice.
Now, I don't understand what's going on with The Simpsons. They don't even have it on FX and X. They took it off, and they only have it on the on the Freeform network. So hopefully they're going to get The Simpsons back.
Get them back. Get them back. Look at the camera. Get them back.
Hey, that's my favorite show, and I want to see The Simpsons back on with the others. You know, and if I can get on The Simpsons, boy, and have a drag racing and punk rock theme.
You already kind of look like a Simpsons character anyhow.
Yeah.
With the Ramones shirt and the thing.
Yeah, I says one guy had plastic surgery to look like Elvis. I wanted plastic surgery to look like Bart Simpson.
You're getting this, I hope. This is the good stuff.
I'm trying to meet a nice girl.
Oh, God,
so
here we go.
people can relate to
God,
it.
all right, we're cutting.
So,
Wait a second.
one of my other songs it's called Break Up with Your Boyfriend and Get a Divorce.
That is actually a cool
You're looking
song,
awful lot like Ashley Force.
Break up with your boyfriend and get a divorce. You're looking awful lot like Ashley Force. Break up with your boyfriend and marry me. Why don't you face reality? I got a good personality. Why don't you face reality? It would make me happy.
Never a bad thing.
A pretty girl that won the U.S. Nationals. She's the daughter of John Force, as you guys know. Beautiful brunette that's into drag racing. And so it was a catchy song, and people can relate.
It is.
And people can relate to it. Because I'm trying to meet a nice girl out there that loves drag racing and loves punk. And has a love for drag racing and punk. So I'm hoping but if I don't meet a decent girl, I'll have to end up marrying Bart Simpson as the last resort.
And on that note, I think we are done with our show. It is the Rock...
Well, God bless you guys. I hope you support my band, and let's make the world a safer, better place to live. And I would hope people would want to support a guy like me. Because I'm trying to make the world safer. And we got to make the world a safer, better place. So that alone, I hope people would support me. And if they share my love for drag racing and punk, I hope you guys will support the band, and God bless you guys.
All right.
Thanks for checking me out.
Rock and roll.
Did I do everything right?
We did it!
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.